And we're back at Pulaski Stadium in Milwaukee, just about set for the kickoff between Rufus King and Milwaukee Juno. And the field in pretty good shape after a game here last night. No rain, no problems with that. The only wind problem could be, the weather problem could be the wind. Looking at the starting lineups for Juno, first on offense, Alex Moore, the quarterback, the trigger to this offense. And he is a returning all-conference player. Brian Haflinger, Kent Perkins, Jermaine Hall, James Webb, Matt Munt. They will see the ball the most for the Juno Pioneers. Jamie Glenn's the center. Matt Willers, also on the starting line is Jamie Glenn, Phil Colas, Mark Gimla, and Matt Munt is the tight end. Here's the opening kickoff, and it is taken by number 21, Robert Eckford for Juno. And he takes it up past the 30-yard line, and that's where the Juno Pioneers will begin on offense. There you see Eckford.
Yes, a little rough start on the kickoff there for Rufus King, but Eckford did a fine job in taking that ball and punching it up the middle. So first and 10 for the Juno Pioneers.
All right, it'll be first and 10 for Juno. There you see the Rufus King starting defense. The ends, Chad Mentor and Peter Hickling. The tackles, Mark Mathiasen and Carlos Maisonet. The linebackers, Dimitri Brown, Ken Oliver, Marcus Reed, and Jermaine Jacobs. The first play is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And with the carry was number 20, Kent Perkins.
Right away you see Rufus King is strong up the middle. They're going to get some penetration here. One thing Juno wants to do today is establish a ground game, but they're going to have to do a little better job of handling those inside guys from Rufus King.
Not the way you want to start out. Second down, and it'll be about 14 yards to Alex Moore. Exciting one. He's dropping back to pass, and he completes the pass to number 42, Jermaine Hall, the fullback, and he's finally taken out of bounds after picking up a first down out around the 47-yard line of the Pioneers.
Boy, that guy there, Jermaine Hall, he's 240 pounds. You see him coming at you, and you're a cornerback. You better do nothing but get out of the way or go at the guy's legs.
His nickname could be Tank. Here we go, Stan. Here's the replay.
Here he is. He's taking the ball, and now he's got 240 pounds going slashing straight up the field, coming right at guys. It takes two guys to take him out of bounds.
That'll give you the early morning wake-up call. First and 10 at the 46-yard line
out of the wishbone.
And that is the quarterback, Alex Moore. And finally he's brought down for another loss behind the line of scrimmage. In on the play that time, number 55, Ken Oliver, along with some help.
It's fine pursuit there out of the Rufus King defense. They came out in the wishbone formation and took a sneak off to the right-hand side. Fine pursuit by the Rufus King defense.
The starting defensive backs, by the way, for King, the free safety, John Babalola, the quarterbacks, Chad Wolf and Jason Robinson, and the coach of the Generals, Jim Dreblow. Second down and 13. Some pressure, but this time Moore gets it away, and it's incomplete to Hall. That'll bring up third and long, and he was almost sacked that time by number 24, Marcus Reed. He's a man we've heard a lot of before the game.
Yes, this Marcus Reed, I had a chance to watch him in practice the other day. He leads the calisthenics for these kids, and he gets down and starts doing push-ups, and he doesn't quit until he wants to, and the rest of the team better follow suit or he's on top of him. Fine player.
He is the key to the Generals, no doubt about it. Marcus Reed, number 24, keep your eye on him on both offense and defense. Third down and 12 yards to go for the Pioneers. Moore drops back. He's got a man wide open. That's number 11, Brian Haflinger, inside the 40, all the way down to near the 30-yard line. He's brought down by John Babalola. He saved a touchdown, but that time Haflinger coming out of the backfield, wide open.
As you see, he's got plenty of time here. Throws the ball. Haflinger's wide open, coming out in the flat there on an out route. This kid was all-conference receiver in '89, second leading in the conference, so he's known to be a big play receiver.
The Pioneers, very much a success story when it comes to this program. They were pretty much left for dead a couple of years ago. They're undefeated right now.
Undefeated, never beat Rufus King, so this will be an interesting day. Oh, we got movement on the line. Number 72.
Lance McDonald, it also looked like Matt Willers jumped.
Yeah, they both jumped.
One of the differences in the King defense from what we expected, one of the key players, Dan Davis, is not sitting up. As a matter of fact, he's having surgery today. We'll get to that story in a minute. There you see 72, the whole left side of the line actually jumped off side. First down and 15 now for the Pioneers. The pitch back to number 20, Kent Perkins. He's got a little bit of room.
Kent Perkins got the corner.
And he's going to carry it inside the 30-yard line. He'll be short of a first down, but a nice big gain that time on 1st and 15. That helps the play calling selection.
Well, you got to like that. They want to get the ball in that Kent Perkins' hands as much as possible this afternoon. He's got good speed to the outside, and he runs, apparently the coach told me he runs a 4.540, which is really moving.
There you see John Schmitz, the Juno coach. Dan Davis, we mentioned for King, he was evidently trying to shoo a bee away when he ended up putting his hand through a window. Kind of a freak accident. He's missed because he's probably the strongest player on that King team. There's the handoff to Hall. Look at how hard it is to bring him down. They can't bring him down. Finally, he goes down, but he's going to be very close to first down. He did pick it up.
Looks like he's got enough. Yeah, it looks like he's got enough for the first down. Yeah, that Dan Davis is quite a story there, shooing a bee away and puts his hand through a window in class. Wow. I bet you the teacher had her hands full then.
I would think so. Hopefully surgery goes well for Dan. He is a very good player. I saw him play earlier this season, and he seemed to be in on just about every tackle. So he'll be missed. First down at 10 for the Pioneers. 8:43 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score. This is the first drive of the game. The handoff to Hall. Look at the tacklers bounce off him. Finally, 5 guys can't bring him down. They blow the whistle after a very short pickup.
I'll tell you what, Rufus King is going to have to do that all day long against that guy. They better have 3 to 4 guys on that guy every time he touches the ball. Otherwise, they're going to have a hard time bringing him down.
Reminds me of the power backs the Cincinnati Bengals used to have. Larry Kinnebrew, Pete Johnson. Tough to bring down.
No question about it. Once you get up above that 240, 250-pound range as a fullback, it's going to be a long day for that defensive line and linebackers.
Pioneers going from the shotgun this time. The pitch back is high. Moore looking deep. He's got a man open, but there's 81. Babalola with the interception in the end zone. And we'll see what they call it. I would assume they're going to call it a touchback. It is a touchback. That could have maybe been called a safety. It looked like he was trying to get out of the end zone. Stop that drive by the Pioneers. And we're still scoreless. King will take over on the 20. Here's the replay.
Well, Babalola, he gets himself in position here. The throw is a little high and a little bit errant here, but Babalola gets himself in position. He's done all year. He's leading the Generals right now in interceptions, and let's see if he gets the ball out. No, he never does get the ball out of the end zone, so that is a good call by the refs there.
And on the first play for King, the handoff to number 25, Damian Mallory on the reverse, and he takes it all the way outside the 45-yard line down to the 47. And this is deja vu to last week's game. Waukesha South handing off on their first play from scrimmage on a reverse. That worked for a touchdown here. A pickup of 26 yards. Not bad offense.
Not bad at all. Coach Dreblow said he wanted to come out and establish a run early, so let's look for that.
Now the team in white is the King Generals. They are on offense. And the handoff is to number 33, Jermaine Jacobs, taking it outside before he's tackled after crossing over the 50-yard line. In on the tackle was number 32, Tony Fry. He's one of the safeties. The leader of this King offense is the quarterback, number 11, Kareem Braxton. And he's joined in the backfield by Damian Mallory, Larry Ferris, and Jermaine Jacobs. The end is Chad Mentor, and he'll be catching a few passes by the end of the game. Get to the starting offensive line in just a minute. It's second down at 5 for King. In motion was number 44, Larry Ferris. The handoff inside. And a pickup close to the first down by Jacobs. But I believe he's a little bit short.
As you can see here, they're coming out with their game plan. Their game plan is to establish the run. This is a team that's known for passing the ball probably 60 to 75. Passing the ball maybe 60, 75% of the game, and they've come out 4 straight times on the ground here, so.
It's going to be short of a first down, third down, and a yard to go for the Generals. A quick snap, and Braxton takes it himself, and I believe he's got the first down.
Looks like it's going to be real close. They may have to measure this one.
Caught the Pioneers off guard a little bit. No, I don't think he picked it up, the way they marked it.
Yeah, they're stopping the clock here, bring the chains out. It'll be a close one. They tried to go with the quick hitter, quarterback sneak.
Now this will give us a chance to go through the rest of the starting lineup for the King Generals. At center, Matt Blackburn. The tackles, Peter Hickling and Jeff Crape. The guards, James Brown and Ken Oliver. And the end, John Babalola, who picked off that pass in the end zone. So he's a two-way player for the Generals, and it's short by about a foot, maybe a little bit less. Do they get gutsy? That's the question here. It'll be 4th and short, Stan.
Well, when it's early in the game like this, you're talking about field position, but looks like Coach Dreblow is going to go for it here. He's only got about a half a foot to go, and just gets one of those big guys to lean over the ball, and he'll have a first down.
They're back, if that's any help. Probably not on a short yardage play. Maybe he'll try to draw the defense offside. There you see Braxton standing and
stops him. They get the ball in great position.
4th and 1. And the handoff,
and they stopped him.
It will be short. The handoff was to Larry Ferris, and a nice play that time. Number 14, Eric Levy, was in on the tackle. Also number 11, Brian Haflinger. And it will be a first down going the other way for the Pioneers.
Holy cow, you get penetration early on this. This guy never gets a chance to get his feet going upfield. Juno did the job they had to do. They get the ball in excellent field position. 1st and 10. They got the ball on minus 45.
There you see. That was number 14, Eric Levy, with a nice play with the initial penetration. 1st and 10. Back on offense. That's Moore. The handoff to the fullback, Jermaine Hall. Rumbling, bumbling down to the 45 of the Generals, and it'll be another first down, I do believe. Very close. No, it'll be a little bit short, I think. Pick up of about 9.5 yards.
Boy, this guy keeps running the ball like this today. These Rufus King players got a long day. He gets a lot of steam upfield. He's got some good speed for a big man, too. Just see him taking on 1, 2, 3, 4 tacklers take him down.
We'll see how much these players want to get in his way. By the end of the game, they may not want to. 2nd down and short. Maybe a pass here? No, it's going to be Moore on the keeper after it looked like a missed assignment, but it works out anyways. It'll be a first down for the Pioneers.
Boy, somebody came in there and gave him a shot right at the end of that and see how he gets up. Tough kid. Apparently, they told me this Alex Moore has been a 4-year starter with the team. Not 4-year starter, but he's never missed a practice in 4 years. You got to like that as a football coach. You get your kids to come to practice every day, and you're going to have a healthy, strong team.
Yeah, he was the all-conference city quarterback last year. He also is the point guard on the basketball team, runs track. All-around a good kid. He's the starting quarterback.
He's fast, too. Runs a 4.5 40, so that's really moving.
And this time he pitches, and it's an errant pitch. It's recovered by number 20, Ken Perkins, but that'll be a big loss of around 10 yards. Bring up a 2nd and 20.
Yeah, good heads-up play by Perkins to just get on that ball and not try to pick it up and run with it.
Now that time, here we see on the replay, the pitch was with the wind. You have to make a variation on the pitch when you're throwing with the wind as opposed to into the wind, I guess.
Yeah, no question. It's just like throwing a pass.
It seems the wind follows us around whichever game we go to. 2nd and 20. And Moore back to pass. He's got a man open again. Haflinger, but almost intercepted. A nice defensive play by number 33, Jermaine Jacobs.
Boy, he stepped in front of that. I bet you he was looking at goal line if he gets his hands on that one. Fine play by the secondary.
Now, as we mentioned, it is difficult to throw into a very strong wind like this. That may have held up that interception. The ball was lofted up in the air, and Babalola stepped in front of it for the interception. That time nearly picked off by Jacobs and possibly could have had 6. It'll bring up 3rd and 20. Moore in the shotgun, and the snap way over his head. He's going to pick it up inside his 30. He has to fall on it. The ball's loose. Now it's inside the 20, but Alex Moore does recover for Juno, so they do not turn the ball over, but it'll bring up 4th and about an acre.
Well, if there's a chance the wind might have come in play, it might have been on Napier. As we take a look at the replay, the snap never gets a chance at it. It's straight over his head. He jumps and he doesn't even get a hand on it. Boy, that's it right now.
Well, it'll bring down the old 4th down and 48. I don't know if you have a play in the playbook for this one, but I would assume they will punt. Back is number 11, Brian Haflinger. And the return man is number 25. He gets the punt off. It's a wobbly sidewise kick, and it is picked up by 25, Damian Mallory. Takes it inside the 35-yard line. So great field position for the King Generals as they take over in a scoreless game.
I stand corrected here. I got to remember we're not in Canada with 3 downs. We got 4 downs here in the States.
Stan spent a little time up north of the border playing a little Canadian ball.
There's David Mallory there. That's a big key player for this Rufus King team, and they got him back there returning punts. Look for this kid to surface somewhere in the college ranks.
First down and 10, 2:59 left to go in the first quarter. This time the pitch out to 33, and that is Jermaine Jacobs, and he carries up close to a first down. It'll be a pickup of around 7.
That's a well-executed pitch there. The quarterback took on the defensive end and waited till his running back had enough head of steam going before he pitched the ball to him.
All right, Stan, we've seen a number of different formations for the Generals. Now, you talked to the coaches earlier this week. What was the impression that you'd see this week?
Well, the Generals, like I said, they're a split back, eye back type team, and they're going to like to come out early and run the ball. They like to go with a 2-receiver wide. Their history this year has been known to be a 65% throwing team. 65 to 75% of the time they'll throw the ball. So I look to see them put the ball up in the air as this game gets on. But initially they want to establish the run, so they're going to pack it in tight and jam the ball up the middle.
Kareem Braxton pick up well, he didn't pick up the first down. It'll be 3rd down and short. 3rd down and 2. I thought he got it that time. Here we go, 3rd down and 2. He's going to pass. Braxton lofting one to a wide open number 25, Damian Mallory, the man who returned the punt earlier, but it's off his fingertips and out of bounds. It'll bring up a 4th down play. If they have a kicker, they are within field goal range with the wind.
That's too bad. Damian Mallory had this guy beat by about 2.5, 3 yards, and the pass looked like it was well thrown. Here we're looking at the replay right now. The pass is well thrown right out in front of him. He just can't seem to get his hands onto it. Just off his fingertips.
Now the Generals will go for it on 4th and 2. And I believe they're going to be stopped. Well, they might have picked it up on the extra surge. That was number 24, Marcus Reed. And they're checking it. It is a first down. So a big pickup for the Generals that time on 4th and 2. That was Marcus Reed's first carry of the ball game.
I'll tell you what, Marcus Reed's their key defensive player at that linebacker position, and the real team leader on this team. So it's good to see him go to that kind of a guy in the clutch when they need the.
Moves closer to the end zone. They are inside the 20. First down and 10 to 17, and Braxton going up top to Mallory. Touchdown, King! A beautiful throw and a beautiful catch, and the Generals draw first blood.
Well, it's good to see him go back to Mallory. They had him the last time, missed him, but this time he had 2 steps on his guy again, and this time the pass is well thrown. Here's the replay. Mallory coming down, a well-thrown ball. Got plenty of hang time on this ball. Mallory's got his guy beat by about 2 steps. Nice catch in the back of the end zone.
Well, they almost connected earlier, and that time it was right on the money. Damian Mallory with the touchdown, and the Generals lead at 6-0. They will try for 2. And Braxton pitching, and I guess that was considered a pass over to number 24, Marcus Reed. It's incomplete, and the Generals fail on the conversion, but they do lead the game 6-0. 1:19 left to go in the first quarter, so the Generals jump on top first.
Well, I tell you what, you can look at that from 2 sides. The Generals getting on the board first, which is always important in the game, and Juno, who's never beaten this Rufus King team, in the tenor of John Schmitz as coach, only down by 6 since he stopped him on the conversion. So still in the game. A lot of time left to play.
And while we have this chance, we'd like to thank one of our May School football game of the week, Warehouse Shoes. Thank them for making this broadcast possible. And we are, of course, at Pulaski Stadium. There you see the Generals set to kick off. 6-0. King leading Juno. Juno undefeated on the season coming in. Now, the team everyone has to beat in the City Conference, no doubt about it, is Washington.
Boy, and Washington didn't look good last week against King. King is a very strong team amongst the City Conference standings, but last week Washington handed them a 41-0 loss, and from what I heard, it could have been worse than that. So no question about it, Washington is tough.
So King looking to get back on the right track, and here's the kickoff, and it's bouncing around. It's picked up by Hall, the big fullback, over the 20, out over the 30, and he's gang tackled down. In on the play is number 33, Jermaine Jacobs, along with a little bit of help that time.
Boy, the way that guy runs the ball, he looks like he just wants you to hit him.
Here we go again.
Here he comes. He just looks like he wants these guys to hit him. Go ahead, hit me. Come on, hit me again. He don't care. He just likes to jam the ball right up the middle.
That'll give you whiplash trying to tackle that. All right, Jermaine Hall, number 42. He is in the backfield, along with Kent Perkins, number 20, in the I formation. We have an official timeout right now. They're going to check some of the equipment, I believe.
Yeah, let's see if Alex Moore can get something going here with this Juno offense. They've been moving the ball, but they need to put it together consistently now. And he's our team general, so he's got to get it going now.
Well, that's number 55, Ken Oliver in white for Rufus King. Evidently, a little problem with the equipment. He'll be replaced by number 64, Crape.
Jeff Crape also has a cousin on this Rufus King team, so a couple of players with similar family blood on this team.
Less than a minute to go in the first quarter. The Pioneers trailing. First down, the handoff to Hall, breaking into the secondary. And he is brought down. A nice open field tackle by number 82, Chad Wolf. And that one saved a first down at least.
No question, Chad Wolf, he's probably given away almost 100 pounds here, and he comes up and makes a big stop in the open field. I was surprised to see Jermaine take that outside, but he thought he had a little more of a chance of getting to that corner. But Chad Wolf comes in with a fine tackle.
At least a 70-pound difference, but he brought him down. This may be the last play of the first quarter. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Pioneers. Alex Moore, the quarterback, faking the pass. Now he steps up, and he's got some room on the left side. He's got close to a first down, and he's dragged down by number 1, Chad Mentor.
Boy, that was a broken play right from the start. He went to take the snap and fumbled the snap a little bit, meant to give it to Jermaine up the middle. Did the best he could to get it to the outside, and with that 4.5 speed, you could see he got to the corner real nicely.
Well, they will check to see if he made the first down, but that is the end of the first quarter with the score Rufus King 6, Juno nothing. We'll be back after this on Channel. And Dan Needles and Stan Johnson back at Pulaski Stadium. The King Generals leading the Juno Pioneers 6-0 on this third week of Channel 12's high school game of the week. Next week, we move on to the Metro Conference. Milwaukee Marquette against Milwaukee Lutheran. Should be an interesting game. But right now, the story in the first quarter was the Generals' one drive. The touchdown pass of 17 yards from Kareem Braxton to Damian Mallory to give them that 6-0 lead, and they moved the ball after a short punt by Juno into the wind after that huge loss on the snap. That was the key. Yeah,
well, a couple of mistakes on that offensive series by Juno, and they turned the field position over to Rufus King, and Rufus King's a dangerous team. You can't do that if you want to beat this team today.
Now the Pioneers with the wind at their back. The ball spotted at their own 43, 1st and 10. And the pitch back to Perkins. He nearly loses it, but he's going to pick up about 6 yards before being knocked out of bounds. In on that tackle, it looked like number 11, Kareem Braxton, in on the defense.
Boy, Alex Moore hesitated just a little bit on pumping that ball off to Perkins there, and almost cost him, but Perkins almost cost him here. As you can see, Perkins he has to hang on. That ball almost went over his ear.
Yeah, that wasn't Kareem Braxton. I watched him on the sideline, and on the tackle was, I believe, Peter Hickling. There's Kareem sitting on the sideline. You could barely see him talking over maybe a little bit of what his team can do the next time they have the ball into the wind. This time, Juno has just called a timeout. And with the score, 6-0, King leading over Juno. We'll be back after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. A couple of kind and sincere guys here for the Game of the Week. Stan, we see Juno with the ball and the wind at their back. Is that going to change their plan of attack?
Well, Juno's got a team that they can put the ball up in the air. There's no question about it. They've got a solid running game going right now. You hate to see them aboard it with the wind at their back, but you also might catch Rufus King sleeping.
All right, by the way, our officials, the referee, Chuck Hintz, the umpire, Irv Jankowiak, the line judge is Doug Bonk, and the head linesman, Charlie Schaefer. Those are the men in stripes out on the field. Second down, 6 yards to go. The handoff to Hall, bowling his way into the middle, looking like a rugby scrum, and they do get him down. Finally, after a gain of about 3, maybe 2.
Well, this Juno team that we're looking at here, I spent some time at their practice this week, talked to their coach about their offensive formations, and he basically gave me about 10 different formations, which tells me that they're multiple offense. They don't run anything in particular. They just run what's working. So, in fact, he gave me some hints as to a formation we may see later in the game. I'll keep my eyes open for it and point it out to you when I see it.
All right, now the Pioneers in the shotgun. Moore being rushed. Gets away from the first wave of men. He'll be out close to first down. He's got it. He's breaking into the clear inside the 40. Woo! Finally brought down by number 41, Jason Robinson. An exciting play by Alex Moore. And he puts the Pioneers into great field position.
Well, here's the replay. You can see this quickness out of this guy here. Should have had him once, and he breaks it up. Now watch him make guys miss. That's a key to being a good football player. He gets low, makes these guys miss. There's 4 or 5 guys missing him all the way down the field. Takes about 2 or 3 more to bring him down. Big play for Juno.
Well, in our game notes, it's listed that Alex Moore may play receiver in college. Has the moves, no doubt. May not have the size to play quarterback. Oh, and this time a fumble. The ball's loose, and it is picked up by the Generals. And it's number 33, Jermaine Jacobs, with the recovery. That time, Moore was nailed as he tried to hand off. The ball squirted loose about 10 yards.
Boy, that early penetration will get you every time, and Rufus King got it that time.
Here we go. Now look, you can see Moore get hit right as he tries to hand off, and it goes off the knee of Hall.
Boy, it looked like Jermaine Hall took his head up and saw the penetration, about ready to hit his quarterback, and didn't concentrate on getting that ball in his hand.
So the Generals with the ball on offense, and this time it's Larry Ferris, number 44, and he's stacked up for a big loss. In on the play for the Pioneers, I see 32, Tony Fry, along with number 40, Matt Munt, one of the defensive ends.
Yeah, and about 6 more guys. That's what you call penetration there. They came right back and got their own penetration. So now Rufus King's going to have to pull some tricks here. They got second and about 16, it looks like.
2nd and 15 is what they're going to list it at. A little less than 10 minutes to go in the first half. King leading 6-0. This time Braxton with the screen out to 33, Jermaine Jacobs, and he's brought down. A great play by Alex Moore.
That quarterback comes in there and takes out his legs. That's a fine play for a quarterback. Makes the coach cringe on the sideline, but you got to have that at your players on defense.
That's a big play because it leaves a 3rd down and 15, long yardage for the Generals. We saw what the wind can do when the Pioneers had that loss of about 20 yards with the shotgun snap.
Yeah, it's no question. Looks like they brought in 4 receivers here to go at him. They've got Babaloa out here split wide on the left. Let's see what they're going to do.
This time Braxton dropping. He's rushed. He throws, and it'll be incomplete. He was trying for number 1. That's Chad Mentor. But it's incomplete. They bring up a 4th down and about 15.
They tried to flood the zone over there in the right flat, and Juno players read that perfectly.
King coaching staff has a few interesting names. There was a penalty on the play, by the way, against King. I believe it was illegal motion. That'll be declined. There you see the wind on the trees. It is really blowing out here, and it's not exactly a summer day. It's a bit chilly. Tough to hang on to the ball in this weather.
No question, but all in all, a beautiful day for football out here.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Guys like you love it like this. 53, Peter Hickling back to punt. Gets a nice snap, and he gets the kick away. End over end, and Alex Moore back to retrieve it. He'll get away. He'll be down at about the 42, but good field position for Juno. Now, we were talking about the King assistant coaches. The freshman coach is a guy by the name of Larry Aaron.
Yes, isn't that something? His father is Hank Aaron, former Milwaukee Brewer, all-time leading home run hitter. Something else. Had this kind of talent, these kind of guys on the freshman and sophomore coaching squads. Jim Gaz is another one of the coaches, and his father is Don Gaz, who owns the Don Gaz basketball camps in the state. So a lot of involvement in the community here you're seeing.
And of course, Don Gaz led Milwaukee Dominican, Whitefish Bay Dominican, to about 70 straight wins of basketball in the late 70s. 1st and 10 for Juno, and this time they drag Hall down at about the line of scrimmage. In on the play for King, number 53. Peter Hickling, one of the defensive ends, bring up a 2nd down and 9. Also in on the play, Marcus Reed.
Yeah, that Don Gaz basketball. He led that Whitefish Bay Dominican. I believe it was 66 wins in a row. For a long time, that stood as a state record until Lady Popes came and beat it.
Very good. Very good, Stan. This man knows his trivia. Second down, 9 yards to go. Possibly offside, no penalty flag. Yeah, there is one down, and the pass is batted away by Moore that time. But I believe one of the Pioneers jumped the gun a bit.
Oh, yeah, I thought we almost had one going there. Hofflinger and Chad Wolf had a little words there at the end of the play. Wolf came up just to let him know he was in the area, even though the ball hit the ground first. That's good, hard football.
Before we get off the subject of the King coaches, varsity assistant Ken Ramsey played under Duffy Doherty at Michigan State. Why do I mention that? Because coming up immediately after today's game is CFA college football. Michigan State against #1 Notre Dame. That's a 2:30 start. We will join it right after this game. Hopefully we'll catch up with the kickoff. Segways are for kids. Don't forget that. Michigan State against Notre Dame coming up on CFA college football. Third down, 9 yards to go for the Juneau Pioneers. The penalty was declined. Shotgun now for Alex Moore. Another high snap, and he goes up and gets it. He's got a man open over the middle, but it's incomplete. Through the hands of 33, James Webb, but it also went through the hands of the defender, Babalola. He almost had #2 of the game.
He sure did, and I tell you what, Alex Moore put some pepper on that pass. If the receiver didn't catch it, I don't think anybody was going to catch that ball.
Well, I tell you what, I just figured out the nightmare for the King defenders. That would be Jermaine Hall, number 42, at 240 pounds, running behind number 63, Matt Willers, at 300 pounds. And that's where they have had most of their success running the ball so far. The punt, and it is barely gotten away by Haflinger. And Mallory's going to let it roll down inside the 10. And it will be down by 21, Robert Eckford, at about the 6-yard line. So a nice punt that time by Haflinger.
This Haflinger is leading the city conference right now in punting, and he shows he stands tall in the pocket there. He had a hard, tough rush on him, but he stood tall and got that punt off, and not quite sure what the yardage was, but it was a dandy.
Robert Eckford, the man who did down that ball. We'll get to his story in a second, but first we'd like to thank one of our major sponsors, Pick and Save, for helping to make this Channel 12 High School Game of the Week broadcast possible. Eckford is, his nickname is Stumpy, but he says he is the smallest and toughest player in Juneau history, and he would like to become a dentist. So that's very interesting. Here we go with the Generals on offense. Mallory trying to spin through a tackle, but he is brought down by number 20, Kent Perkins.
That was Kareem Braxton here trying to get something going on the Rufus King side of the ball. Try to sustain some type of a drive here. They got the wind in their face, so they're going to have to be conscious of that and keep the ball down low.
You just joined us. King is leading 6-0. They scored the minute 19 left in the first quarter on a 17-yard pass from Kareem Braxton to Damian Mallory. That's the only scoring of this game. As we mentioned, Juno undefeated coming into this game. King with a pair of losses. Here's the handoff inside to a twisting Jermaine Jacobs. He's going to be very close. He does pick up the first down.
Yeah, fine run by Jacobs. They give him the ball right up the middle here, as you can see on the replay. And he just slashes his way up there, takes it on, hits and spins, and keeps going. Runs over a couple guys. Fine run by him.
Finally brought down by Lance McDonald. So the Generals trying to move the ball on the ground into the face of the wind. Coach Jim Dreblow calling the plays, and this time the pitch out is to number 42, Demetrius Brown, and he's brought down with a penalty flag down.
There was nothing doing on the outside there. The receiver tried to throw a block, but there was 2-3 guys already there.
And we've got a clip against the Generals, and not what they wanted. They'll be deep now inside their own territory. All right, now watch on the left side of your screen.
It looks like they're calling a clip on the receiver out there on number 20 right there, yeah.
Excellent work by our photographers out on the field. Thank you, gentlemen. And up in the booth, of course, Mr. Dwayne Walls in his Rufus King Generals sweater. Of course, he is not cheering for one team over the other, right, Dwayne? Right. Absolutely not. A grad of King. There you see the King sideline. Jim Dreblow is in his 7th year. He started off the year with a surprising win. At the time, it was surprising over Vincent. And in that game, I got a chance to watch it. Kareem Braxton really controlled it, mixing passes and runs, and it seemed like he kept Vincent off step the entire game. Hasn't had that chance yet, but he does have the lead, 6-0. Here's the pitch back. This time it's 33, Jermaine Jacobs again. nothing doing.
Now they've got themselves in a hole here, and it looks like the coaches decided to keep it on the ground anyways. They don't want to get caught with a big turnover here, so we'll see. It's going to be second down here. They got 3 more plays to go.
Well, if you're John Schmitz, the coach for Juno, would you be thinking maybe push the defense in a little bit closer? You figure they may not be throwing it deep. There you see John. And play up for the run a little bit more, or do you have to keep one man back, obviously, for a long pass here on 2nd and 16?
Well, that's interesting. You always got to cover the receivers because you never know when they're going to slide one at you, but you might want to pack it in a little bit.
Now this time, 44, Larry Ferris up the middle. And he picked up about 3 or 4 yards, but still, it'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, this Larry Ferris here, he's a senior and 171 pounds. He's got good side as a running back.
Matt Munt in on the tackle that time for Juno, the defensive ends. He is joined on the line by Lance McDonald, Matt Willers, and Phil Colas. Cornerbacks Ken Perkins and Alex Moore. Safeties Tim Dorfner and Tony Fry. The linebackers Eric Levy, Brian Haflinger, and James Webb. They'll try to hold on here. 3rd down and 10. Braxton back to throw. He's got a man open, Jacobs, but it's incomplete. Kind of a knuckleball that time, and it'll force the Generals into a punting situation into the wind.
Jacobs had himself out there to receive that pass, but had his shoulders turned upfield, and the pass was off to his right-hand side, so didn't really get a chance to get it. Here's a replay here. Never gets a chance to get his hand on the ball. A lot of running room out there if he'd had it.
May be able to tell the lights are on here at Pulaski Stadium. Skies are really becoming overcast in a hurry. We may see some rain yet this afternoon. And here's the punt. And up, straight up into the wind. Oh my, it's going to bounce it around the 20. A good bounce for the Generals, but Juno will take over. Great field position inside the 40 of King. They'll be spotted at about 36. That time, the punt by Peter Hickling, you can't blame him too much. You want to get a spiral low, but once it gets up into that wind, it's like a vacuum. Yeah,
there's no question about it, and he's punting straight into that wind, so that ball got up in the air and it just hung up.
4:34 and counting left to go in the first half. There you see some of the fans for Juno. They're cold. 1st down and 10. Alex Moore trying to get his team on the board. They're trailing 6-0. The ball spotted at the 41. Here he goes on the option right. He's going to pitch it back to 20, Ken Perkins, and he is out of bounds near the 30-yard line.
Well, you got to like seeing that as a coach. Alex Moore comes around, and you can see he's not a greedy player at all. He waits. He must have ran 20, 25 yards before he finally gave the ball up to his halfback following.
Here we go again, the all-conference quarterback from last year, Alex Moore. Waiting for the defense to commit. Then he pitches to Perkins. We'll see, he did fumble late, but I think he was, the ball was knocked loose and out of bounds. So, of course, Juno retains possession. John Babalola in on the tackle. He's all over the field.
Picked up another 6 yards on that pitch there.
2nd down, they actually gave him 8. 2nd down and 2.
This Babalola is one tough character on defense, too.
Now the option right. This time the pitch to Perkins again. He was close to a 1st down at about the 25.
I think that was Jacobs on that tackle again. That was a nice open field tackle by number 33, Jacobs. He's playing both sides of the ball today. Tough kid.
See a lot of players going both ways for these teams. It'll be 3rd down. So Jacobs did stop Perkins short of the 1st down. 3rd down and 1. Pioneers. They had a great scoring chance in the 1st quarter, but the interception into the end zone stopped that. Here they trail 6-0. The handoff inside to Hall, and he breaks into the secondary for a 1st down, and that should be automatic when you hand the ball off to him on short yardage situation.
He might have been running behind that 300-pounder there. I couldn't see, but fine play again by Hall.
Just straight up the middle. Huge hole opened by the Pioneers line. Nice blocking that time. And it's a 1st down. 3:20 left to go in the opening half. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line for Pioneers. Hall is the up back. And a fumble. Moore picks it back up. He's scrambling, and he's going to be sacked for a loss way back at the 33-yard line. In on the play, Jermaine Jacobs. Also Marcus Reed. And number 53 is Peter Hickling.
What a play by Rufus King there. Alex Moore never gets a handle on that ball. By the time he does, he finds himself 25 yards back in the backfield. And guys like Peter Hickling pursuing, he's not going to go anywhere.
All right, we do have a timeout on the field with Rufus King leading Juno 6-0. We'll be back after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week.
Hey Milwaukee, I'm Bob Saget of America's Funniest Home Videos, here with $10,000 finalists Kathy and Joe Morgan of Muckawanago and their sons Joey and Chad. The Morgans always taught the boys to say what was on their minds, no matter what the cost.
Care of the little one here? Is that your sister or brother?
Brother, you have bad breath.
Well, we know Joey would like to win the $10,000 since obviously Santa didn't bring him any Christmas presents that year. Watch us Sunday at 7 to see if it'll be Christmas in September in the Morgan home.
We're back at Rufus at Milwaukee Pulaski. Rufus King leading Juno. Here's that last play for the Pioneers and the fumble by Moore.
Well, he's sprinting out and he's looking at that option. The ball just slips out of his hands, reaches down to pick it up. By the time he gets up, he's 10, 15 yards back now.
A good move, not throwing the ball there, because he wouldn't have gotten off a very good throw, I don't think.
And did you notice the guy who was first on him was that Marcus Reed?
There you see some of the fans once again for Juno. They have a long second down play here coming up. 2nd and 26. I noticed on that last play, it looked like Alex Moore was hit by one of his own linemen by mistake. Here he's going deep to a wide open Haflinger. Touchdown, Juno, and we're back to even.
Holy cow, there wasn't anybody within 10 yards of the guy.
A 32-yard pass to Brian Haflinger. We expected Moore and Haflinger to link up today, and they surely did for the touchdown, and the game is now back to even at 6-6.
It's rare that they put it up in the air this first half, but they finally had the defense sucked in and put it up over the top, and bingo, touchdown.
A beautiful play call that time, and he was wide open. So the Pioneers will try for 2 to take the lead. Here's Moore over the middle, almost picked off by Babalola, but it's incomplete, so we stay even at 6-6. So the Pioneers take advantage of the wind and watch the pass by Moore.
Moore drops back. He's got plenty of time, throws up a nice pass. Haflinger, one of the leading receivers in the City Conference, has got his guy beat by about 10 yards. Nobody around him.
Made a great move, juking to the inside, and the defender stopped. And it was over his head for the touchdown. So the Pioneers are celebrating. 2:54 left to go in the first half. King would have to go into the wind, so instead of maybe being overly aggressive, they may want to be conservative here. They don't want to give up the ball with good field position to Juno before the half. Still plenty of time.
Still plenty of time at 2:54 to go in this game. You notice one thing there, both of the coaches seem to have that same strategy. They both scored and they both went for the 2-point conversion. Wind at their back, they might be questioning that. Just a little chip shot to make that 1 point, and both went after 2 and came up with nothing. So we're tied at 6. Juno gets set to kick off here. It'll be their quarterback, number 10, Alex Moore, kicking off. This guy's just an all-around, all-purpose guy.
Al Moore is 3 of 8 for 75 yards on the day. Passing, here's the kickoff inside the 10, and it's dropped, but then it's picked up. And he's out past the 25. Couldn't quite catch the number. There it is, 42, Demetrius Brown. So the Generals take over with generally good field position.
All right, the Demetrius Brown there, he bobbled the ball, but once he got it, did you notice how quick that guy got his head pointing north and south and running upfield? Coaches will love that all day long. Slashing type runners, they call that.
In on the tackle was Tom Moore. You see he has a, well, if you get a chance to see him again, a 22 jersey with a 67 jersey on top of it. I don't know if he's trying to confuse us or what.
No, they had to put him at offense. He hasn't played in a while. He had a separated shoulder, so.
Oh, and on first down, Braxton runs into his own man and buckles just short of the line of scrimmage, being up a second down and about 11.
Yeah, he ran right into the back of big number 71, James Brown, 235-pound tackle, I believe, for the team, and sent him down in a hurry. Supposed to use that guy as a blocker.
2 minutes left in the first half. Here's the replay. Now watch Braxton run into his own man.
Oh, Brown, whoa. Nice hit, Brown.
Oh, that doesn't feel good. So it's a loss of 1. A good defensive play to push the blocker into the quarterback. Again.
Oh,
A snap over the head of Braxton. He's got to fall on it, and he does. Oh, about his own 14. Avoiding disaster.
Yeah, heads-up play by Braxton there to get on top of that ball. That's twice we saw that snap over the head. Both teams now have had that problem with the wind again.
There it is. There you see it, up and over his hands. Now watch at the end of the play as the ball was about to be picked up by number 40. Watch his quick hands. Just, yep, got it. And there's a timeout on the field, and we're all tied up. 6-6, King and Juno at Pulaski Field, and there you see it, go Generals.
Like to see the spirit out of the student body. You need that in high school athletics.
Pretty good size crowd here, considering the weather expected, possibly rain, a little bit chilly. This is fall, definite fall weather. 2 weeks ago on our first game of the week, it was about 90 degrees. Now it's down in the 50s. 3rd and 25, a big play for the Generals. Braxton hands off in a fumble, and it's still loose. And it'll be recovered by the Pioneers at the 20-yard line of King. And the recovery that time was made by Tony Fry. Oh, what a play. And here we'll see on the replay, it looked like the runner for King possibly could have picked it up right there. That was Jacobs.
Looked like Jacobs never got the handle on it. It looked like the ball was put onto his thigh pad, and he brought it up, and the ball was immediately down on the ground.
So a big turnover, and the Pioneers, great field position. 1st and 10 from the 20. 1 minute left in the half. Out of the shotgun, the pass by Moore is right into the arms of the defender. 85, Matt Mathiasen.
Boy, Matt Mathiasen almost had himself a quick pickoff there and turned this whole tide around.
That was a bullet. Now watch this pass. Right into Mathiasen's hand.
Oh, he stepped in front of that guy. Oh, probably should have had that. He'll dream about that one tonight.
But it does break up the pass. It's 2nd down and 10, 58 seconds left. Out of the shotgun again. Moore, plenty of time. Up to Hall, but it's picked off. Number 55, Ken Oliver, and out of bounds at his own 38-yard line. Oh, is that a big play by Ken Oliver, starting in place of Dan Davis at the linebacker position.
Boy, this Oliver's one of these big play guys on defense. Him along with Reed, they're the linebacking core. You see, he drops back, tries to loft one over there. Oliver steps right in front of him. Fine pickoff there.
Oh, is that a big play? Because there was only one defender left to try to bring down Mr. Hall if he would have gotten a hold of that. So we'll go the other way, and King, after turning it over, 2 plays later, gets the ball back. Now it's Braxton throwing up top to Babalola. Incomplete, almost a great catch, but a nice defensive play by number 20, the cornerback, Ken Perkins.
Boy, Babalola wanted a little interference there, and it was close, but a little bit too close to call.
And there's a penalty on the play, a holding call, so it would wipe this play out anyways. There you see it.
Here it is. Oh, yeah, looks like he's got that left arm hooked around the head.
Very close.
Yeah.
Babalola did have a complaint. Very close play. We'll give the benefit of the doubt to the officials, since there is no replay. But it doesn't matter anyways. It was an offensive holding on the Generals. There you see the official. So with 47 seconds left to go in the half, the Generals now move back to their own 25. Not expecting to see the ball go up again.
Yeah, what do you think here? It's 1st and long. You got 47 seconds. Do you want to just get it in half, regroup, and come out and ready to play some football?
Well, they are in the shotgun. Kareem Braxton, the quarterback, he's dropping back. He's got a man open, and that's number 1, Chad Mentor, but it's incomplete.
Well, the coach taking a big gamble there, throwing the ball this late in the half, Jim Dreblow, but he obviously saw something that he liked and sent the guy out in the flat. Just didn't have the hook up there.
So that'll bring up a 2nd and 22.
The thing about this King offense, and talking to Coach Dreblow this week, is that they've got about 10 different guys who are statistics as receivers and receptions this year. So they spread the ball around quite a bit.
2nd and 22. Braxton dropping back. A man on him, gets away. Now he's running up the sideline, and he's dropped at about the 30-yard line. In on the play, number 60, Phil Colas.
And number 11, Brian Hoflinger.
So that stops the clock again with 24 seconds left. I believe the Pioneers called a timeout. And with that timeout and the score tied at 6, we'll be back after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week.
It's closeout time at Wild Toyota, and that means unbelievable savings on one of our largest inventories ever. No down payment on brand new Toyota trucks when you lease from only $129 per month. No down payment on SR5 4-door 4Runners from $319 per month. No down payment on tough, rugged 4x4 trucks from only $199 per month with AM/FM stereo, power steering, tinted glass, style steel wheels, cloth bench seats, and much, much more. Plus, Wild Toyota will include a truck cap with the purchase of any 4x4 in stock right now at Wisconsin's largest Toyota dealer. Wild Toyota, the dealer to remember.
And we're back at Pulaski Stadium with Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. The score tied. Rufus King and Milwaukee Juno tied at 6 apiece. King has the ball at 3rd down and 17, only 24 seconds left in the first half, and Juno still has, I believe, 1 timeout left. Mentor in motion. Braxton dropping back. He's got a man on him, and the pass is knocked up in the air and incomplete.
Almost intercepted there by number 60.
Phil Colas, and he had a lot of room for a possible touchdown. A nice defensive play by 33 James Webb on the blitz.
Boy, he came from the backside. Braxton never saw him at all, and put a good lick on him.
So the Pioneers will get the ball back. 20 seconds left to go in the first half, and Mr. Hall, the big fullback, Jermaine Hall, back to receive at about his own 42, and back to do the kicking, or the King Generals is Peter Hickling. He's had problems getting it up into the wind, and a snap, a one-handed catch. Nice job by Hickling. Not much of a punt, but they'll take it. Under those circumstances, it'll be down at the 48-yard line of King.
Boy, we almost saw turn in the events there again. Hickling with a fine grab, a one-handed catch on that snap. The guys are having a tough time with any kind of long snap going with the wind.
Pioneers with the no-huddle offense. The clock starting at 12. And in motion now, Moore in the shotgun. The snap, nice play picking it off the ground. He's got a man open. That's number 40 for the Pioneers, Matt Muntz. But, well, they did get the clock stopped with 3 seconds left as the chains move. Pioneers must be out of timeouts. Well, no, they did have one left.
That'll be the half.
No, that is the half. All right, the Pioneers trying to get one last play off, and they don't. So we go into halftime tied, 6 apiece. Rufus King and Milwaukee Juno with that score at 6. We'll be back after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. The first half, a very even first half. The Pioneers fell behind early as King scored with less than 2 minutes left in the first quarter. A 17-yard touchdown pass from Kareem Braxton to Damian Mallory. The extra point try was no good. Then in the second quarter, just under 3 minutes left to go in the half, a 33-yard touchdown pass from Alex Moore to Brian Haflinger. The extra point also no good on the 2-point try, and we are tied at 6-6. One other City Conference game going on this afternoon. North leading Riverside 16-0 over at Custer Stadium with 10 minutes left in the first half. And that brings us to our Operation Football scoreboard. Plenty of games from around the area last night.
For the real thing.
Back at halftime of Channel 12's High School Game of the Week, Dan Needles along with Stan Johnson, where we ask the important question, why do you drive on a parkway but park on a driveway? Never did understand that, but it's still 6-6. King and Juno tied at halftime. And real quickly before we get to the halftime stats, a few things we want to remember as we look at the fans in the stands. First off, the Wisconsin Badgers are playing at home against Temple today. We will try to get you a score on that. Tomorrow, the Packers and Chiefs in Green Bay. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 10:30 for Packers Sunday night. A complete 15-minute wrap-up of the Packers-Chiefs game. The Packers, of course, lost their last 2 to the Chiefs. We'll see if Lindy Infante and company can turn the tables with Mikowski at quarterback. And here are our halftime statistics. The rushing yards in favor of the Generals. The passing yards in favor of the Pioneers, what we expected before the game. Total yards, though. Actually, that should read, well, not quite sure on the math over there on the Pioneers. We'll try to figure that one out later. Evidently, the overall total yardage goes in favor of Juno over the Generals. The time of possession in favor of Juno by only 3 minutes, but they committed 2 turnovers to none for King, and King did take advantage of one of those turnovers for a score.
Yes, they did, and as you can see there with 2 turnovers to none, that's always a key stat to look at when you're coming down the chart. But you know, 2 turnovers, and they're still in a tie ball game. I think that this game at this point obviously is anybody's game. So I think Juno's got to be happy at halftime.
All right, Kareem Braxton, 2 of 8 for 17 yards, but 1 touchdown for the 17 yards. And for the Pioneers, Alex Moore, 4 of 11, 82 yards, also 1 touchdown. And that leads us to our score at halftime, 6-6. There you see the Generals heading back out onto the field for the second half. Don't forget CFA college football coming up after this ball game. Number 1, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against the Michigan State Spartans. Big Ten. So that's immediately following our high school game of the week. There you see it. And next week on Channel 12's high school game of the week, we move on to the Metro Conference. Milwaukee Marquette against Milwaukee Lutheran. The Hilltoppers in action tonight against Pius at Hart Park. And last week they beat my alma mater, Waukesha Catholic Memorial, in a great game. And that promises to be a pretty good game next week. Milwaukee Lutheran, which had defeated Kenosha St. Joe a week ago. So it could be a good matchup. That's next week on Channel 12's high school game of the week.
Well, we look forward to another fine game next week, but in the meantime, we've got a dandy brewing here, so stick around.
Yeah, we showed you the stats pretty well even in the first half. And the scoreboard is all even, 6-6. We will be back with the start of the second half between King and Juno right after this on Channel 12's high school game of the week. Julie Pesch, we're set to go with the second half. King and Juno tied at 6, and we have a chance to look at the first score of the game.
Looks up and he finds a wide open Brian Hofflinger. Fine catch there, laid out for it, and walks it into the end zone.
Both teams went for 2 after their touchdowns, and neither one was good. So it is 6-6 after 24 minutes of action. And you ask, how are the Badgers doing? Well, not too good, Margaret. 7-0, they're trailing Temple in the first quarter. And the Owls taking that early lead. Let's hope Barry Alvarez can get his team going. Otherwise, if they lose to Temple, it's going to be a long season.
Well, Barry Alvarez made a comment that Temple is a team that has as much talent as any of the Big Ten teams, so they've got a battle up there in Camp Randall.
Now here we go with the second half. The kickoff taken by Haflinger all the way out to near his own 40-yard line, and Juno will start on offense, and very quickly we'll refresh your memory of the starting offense for the Pioneers. There you saw 2 of the big reasons why they are tied. Number 11, Brian Haflinger, and number 10, Alex Moore. They are in the backfield along with Kent Perkins, big Jermaine Hall, the fullback. James Webb is at one end, and Matt Munt is the tight end. The starting line we will get to after this play. It's 1st and 10 for Juno, their own 38. So actually it's Juno going into the wind here in the third quarter. Moore trying to pass, and it's complete to Haflinger for another first down. Out past midfield all the way down to the 47 of the Generals. So the Pioneers come out throwing in the second half.
Maybe a little bit of a surprise here for the Rufus King Generals. They defense against the run all the first half, and right away they come out throwing first play of the second half.
Jermaine Jacobs with the tackle. One thing I like about Moore, his ability to throw on the run, sidearm, into the wind. Here you see the starting offensive line. Jamie Glenn, Matt Willards, Mark Gimliff, Phil Colas, and also Lance McDonald. 1st and 10, the handoff to Perkins. He'll try the right side, and he's brought down a fine open field tackle. Number 42, Demetrius Brown.
What a hit. He come up out of nowhere there. Thought he was going to get to the corner, but Demetrius Brown comes up and takes his legs out from underneath him.
There you see him dart in. Here's 42. Nice tackle. Had the shoulders squared and everything a coach teaches.
Yeah, the coaches will love that guy.
That's a loss of a yard. 2nd down and 11 for the Pioneers. King playing a 44 defense for the most part. A little mix-up on the handoff. Moore back to pass, can't find a man open. Now he's trying a lob to Haflinger, who makes a nice defensive play, knocking it away.
Well, Haflinger had to do that. Whenever you're caught in that position as a receiver with the ball going to be intercepted, you become the defender, and the defender becomes the offensive player. So he did a fine job to make sure nobody caught that.
And there's the replay. Stan, you would know about this, being a former receiver.
Well, that's one of the basics they teach you. If you can't catch a ball, make sure nobody catches a ball.
The name Stan Johnson sounds familiar. You may remember back in the late 70s, early 80s for Pewaukee High School. Your quarterback, Peter Opie, was that right?
No, my quarterback at the time was Jeff Ackley. Peter Opie had graduated, and I played 2 years with Jeff Ackley as a quarterback.
Okay, here's the screen pass to Hall. And he is finally hauled down by 33, Jermaine Jacobs, but a big pickup. But that'll bring up a 4th down play.
Well, you see a guy come in there and try to shoulder tackle him, and Hall just shakes him off and keeps on going. Got to hit that guy low.
4th down and 4 for the Pioneers. We'll see what they do. It's Haflinger, evidently back to punt. Yes, they will. Back to receive is Jermaine Jacobs for King. Haflinger takes it on one bounce, and he gets off a low, wobbly kick, and it'll go out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So it worked. Didn't get blocked. I guess the coaches can be happy. Tough punting into the wind. But King is not starting in outstanding field position at their own 24-yard line. The game's tied at 6-10, 22 left in the third quarter.
Well, Juno's got to be happy with that. King has got to be happy, on the other hand, to have the ball back. So,
briefly, we saw Jermaine Hall talking with his coach, and John Schmitz on the sideline talking about a pass pattern on that last pass play. I think he's trying to say maybe Jermaine cut it up a little too quick.
Yes, he may have. I didn't quite catch him on that pattern, though.
All right, we'll go the other way. 1st and 10. They'll mark it at about the 25 for King. There's a penalty on the play, and the pitch off to number 33, Jermaine Jacobs, up the left sideline, all the way inside the 40. He might go all the way. Inside the 20, he will, but remember, there was a penalty flag on the play in the offensive backfield. Quarterback Kareem Braxton clapping his hands, but I think it's going to be against the Generals.
Boy, that's too bad. Jacobs cut it to that sideline, and he was a foot race. And boy, you showed some character there with his speed. Taking it all the way up the sideline.
A 75-yard run that will be wiped out by the penalty. And here you see it. Offsides on the Generals. So wipe the touchdown off the board. That hurts.
Oh, yeah, that is too bad, because that was a fine run by Jacobs there.
Looked like Peter Hickling jumped just a bit too early. But look at this burst of speed down the sidelines by Jacobs. Even Alex Moore can't catch him.
Oh, boy, the guy showed he can run with the ball there. Let's keep our eye on him. He's been their workhorse first half. Looks like they're going to keep going to him in the second half.
So instead of a touchdown, it's 1st and 15 for Milwaukee Rufus King. We said they are tied at 6-6 with Juno.
Juno dodged a bullet there.
Looking at Jermaine Jacobs, number 33, is a senior, 5'9", 160. Excellent speed. He is the team's leading rusher this year. 1st and 20 this time. The handoff is to Marcus Reed. And he gains back to near the original line of scrimmage, maybe 6-yard gain. He was brought down by number 33, James Webb, one of the outside linebackers.
Another fine play by Webb coming up and filling that hole there. Had 3 guys. Hofflinger also got in on that tackle there.
There you see the starting offensive backfield and the starting line. Blackburn, Hickling, Crape, Brown, Oliver, and the receiver, Babalola. That is for Milwaukee King. 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. Man in motion was Larry Ferris. The handoff up the middle to Marcus Reed. Pickup of about 6 yards. So it'll bring up 3rd down and short yardage. As we mentioned, the backfield, Kareem Braxton, Damian Mallory, Jermaine Jacobs, Larry Ferris. We also saw Marcus Reed right there, and this time straight up the middle, some good blocking.
Well, Coach Dreblow likes what he sees in this Marcus Reed, so he's going to start using him more and more on the offensive end of the ball and giving him the ball right up the gut. Let him work.
The defense for the Pioneers along the line, Lance McDonald, Matt Willers, Phil Colas, Matt Munt. Linebackers, Eric Levy, Brian Haflinger, James Webb. 3rd and short, the handoff is to Marcus Reed again. And with an extra effort, I think he picked up the 1st down.
It'll be close. They may have to measure this one.
Well,
the spot there looks like he's got it.
I believe he did get it. Now they move it back a little bit, but I think it's still enough for a 1st down. Yes, it is. The cornerbacks for the Pioneers, 20 Kent Perkins and 10 Alex Moore, and the safeties, 32 Tony Fry and 30 Tim Dorfner. There you see the King sideline and Coach Jim Dreblow. They do have the wind at their back here in the 3rd quarter. We saw how important it was. Both touchdown passes completed with the wind. A couple of punts against the wind with trouble. So we'll see if the Generals can get the offense moving. Of course, they just scored on a touchdown that was called back or offside. It would have been a 75-yard touchdown. 1st and 10. Here's Kareem Braxton throwing incomplete. He was trying for number 41, Jason Robinson. He was well covered.
Yeah, it looked like Robinson hooked it up there, and and the pass was thrown as if he had been running an out pattern. Maybe a little lack of communication there.
Bring up a 2nd and long. Wind really picking up now, as it is an overcast day. We mentioned earlier the lights are on. It's cold. The first real fall day for football.
Beautiful day for football here.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Maybe a good day for football, but a lot of the folks in the stands already have the winter coats on. Braxton dropping back to pass. Rushed, and he's hit as he threw it. Ball's in the air, and it is going to be intercepted. What a play by number 30, Tim Dorfner. Oh,
holy cow, I tell you what, it was anybody's ball out there. Tim Dorfner just went up and took it away from the intended receiver, number 25.
Damian Mallory that time was the receiver.
Damian Mallory, right.
And a fine play by Dorfner as he and Mallory fought for it. Watch on the end of the play here. That's Mallory.
Either one of them's got a shot at it. Dorfner just goes and takes it away from him.
Looked like a jump ball. And Braxton, give him credit. He threw that pass while he was being knocked to the turf, and he put it up some 45, 50 yards in the air, right on the money, but it is picked off by Dorfner. So Juno back on offense, and here's Jermaine Hall picking up close to a 1st down, a chunk of about 8.
Is this guy ever going to get tired?
Boy, he is a horse in there in the backfield. 240 pounds, brought down by Jason Robinson. There you see the score, 6-6. We're in the 3rd quarter. Don't forget, CFA college football coming up after this game, a 2:30 start, Michigan State and Notre Dame. We may join it in progress if this game isn't over at 2:30. Number 1 team in the nation against a tough Big Ten team in CFA college football right after this. That was a pickup of 9 by Hall. They'll give it to him again. Breaking into the secondary, dragging tacklers. Finally brought down by Jermaine Jacobs along with number 82, Chad Wolf. But it's a 1st down for Jermaine Hall.
Well, these guys on the Rufus King defense are starting to get a little bumped and bruised there. They're going to have to start digging down deep to make sure they got it. Take down a guy like Hall. They're going to see a lot of him in the 2nd half.
This is a man well suited for a team that is trying to move the ball into the wind. Mr. Hall, I would assume people refer to him as Mr.
Yeah, no question about it. With that kind of size, I better refer to him as Mr.
This time the fake to Hall and the pitch off to Perkins. He'll try the right side, but a nice defensive play. Jermaine Jacobs in on the tackle again, along with Chad Wolf. And this time they stop it for a loss or maybe a pickup of 1. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Chad Wolf and Jacobs both having a heck of a game out there playing on the defense. They've had their work cut out for them. They've been on the field quite a bit here, so let's see what they can do for the rest of the half.
And join us next week as we travel to Milwaukee Lutheran High School, where the Red Knights will take on the Hilltoppers of Milwaukee Marquette. Game time, 12:30 right here on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. And you know that the Red Knights of Milwaukee Lutheran will be pumped up for that game, hoping for the big upset. Here's the handoff to Hall. On 2nd down, he picks up a 1st down and 4. Look at him drag the tacklers along with him. Finally, number 82, Chad Wolf, he's saying, stop it, get away. Here we go on the replay. He's sick of butting heads with Mr. Hall, I think.
Well, Coach Schmitz going to the quick hitter right up the middle with Hall, and why not? He's getting 10, 15 yards of crack every time he goes to him.
Finally, Jermaine Hall on the sideline. There you see him. And plenty of skulls and crossbones on the helmet for yards picked up and touchdown. He is only a junior.
Yes, we'll see this guy next year, too. So,
is he having a ball game today, Jermaine Hall? Taking a little breather right now. There's a timeout on the field. And our score is King 6 and Juno 6. And we'll be back after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. Hall back in the game this time. He slips down after a gain of maybe 1, Jermaine Hall.
Boy, that's the Rufus King defense will take that any day of the week. They like to see him slip a little bit.
As we said, very windy. The wind really picking up in the 2nd half. See plenty of blankets out, winter coats. Welcome to winter, Wisconsin style. There you see the wind on the flag. We're not kidding. It's strong.
Yeah, it's a good thing it's warm in here, huh?
Yes, very good thing indeed. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Alex Moore dropping back, and he's sacked. Straight through his Marcus Reed, number 24, the man we were talking about earlier. Looked like nobody touched him that time.
Boy, this Marcus Reed's just one tough ball player. From what I understand, Coach said there's a number of people talking to him, but apparently he's going to opt to go into the Marine Corps. And boy, we need good, tough guys like that in the Marine Corps.
There you saw it. Nobody touched him. Just blew right past the line. That was a loss of about 8 or 9 yards. So it's 3rd down and 17.
Juno gets the ball going again. A costly mistake sets him back a little bit.
This time they're in the shotgun. They had problems with the snaps earlier in the game on the shotgun with the wind at their face. This time the pass is complete. And it's going to be a 1st down, I believe. Very close to it for Juno. The pass was complete to 33, James Webb, and he is down, possibly injured. He's slow to get up. A nice move that time by Webb, and it depends where they mark him. But it looks like he is injured. That's
James Webb, he's a defensive signal caller on defense, and here he shows he can play both sides of the ball. Here he takes the reception, looks outside. There's 3 guys here. I think I'll take it back inside. Here we go. Let's take it right up the gut now. Got about 6 guys jumping on him there.
He was hit hard. It looked like maybe injured his, well, I'm not sure. It looks like possibly a leg, could be an ankle. We'll wait to find. Yeah, we're back in the twilight zone. There you see James Webb coming off the field. The echo effect on the music. Real quickly, good to see him walk off the field, by the way, with just a slight limp. Maybe we'll see him back in the game. All right, we'll take a look at the replay, see what happened here once again. That's Webb with the ball.
There's guys all around him. Here he plants. It could happen just about anywhere in there.
Not quite sure. Can't really tell what happened. Real quickly, want to thank our spotter, Ron Glazer, and our statsman, Joe Hahn, for helping us here in the booth. Right now, 4th and 1 for the Pioneers. They're going to go for it. Give it to the big man, Hall, and he breaks through a couple of tackles. He's got the 1st down and more. He's inside the 35.
This guy just does not want to go down. These King players better take heed to that, because they're going to see a lot of him this second half, as if they don't realize that already.
Here's the instant replay. Look at him. Both through the line. Spinning, turning.
Boy, a guy that big, you think they'd have him in a down lineman position, possibly a guard, possibly a tackle, but John Schmitz likes him in the backfield.
Now there you see the Juno sideline and John Schmitz. He's got a drive going here. 1st and 10, 3:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Game still tied at 6. The handoff inside to Hall once again. This time brought down. Marcus Reed in on the play, along with number 85. That is Matt Mathiasen. That time they went to the old one guy up, one guy down, try to bulldog him down, and it worked.
Yeah, if you see that, Marcus Reed made a heck of a play there. He got down low and says, I think I'm going to get down around your ankles there, big guy, and take it from there.
Over on the sideline now for Juno, number 22 and number 67. He's both. Tom Moore. He is being checked out. There you see him. And there you see both jerseys. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Moore with the option left. He'll pitch it. And it's going to be stopped short of a 1st down. And the pitch went to number 21, Robert Eckford, his 1st carry of the game.
Marcus Reed comes in with a nice stick there again at the end of this play. This guy's all over the field.
I like this Eckford kid. He has a lot of spunk out there. He's not afraid to hit anybody. He took a good shot that time. He got up right away, and he's back in. He's replacing Webb. Webb we see on the sideline trying to loosen things up. Eckford stays in the backfield. That's the young man we mentioned. He wants to become a dentist.
Right.
So he can keep his teeth intact after hits like that. The echo effect on the music. Real quickly, good to see him walk off the field, by the way, with just a slight limp. Maybe we'll see him back in the game. All right, we'll take a look at the replay, see what happened here once again. That's Webb with the ball.
There's guys all around him. Here he plants. It could happen just about anywhere in there.
Not quite sure. Can't really tell what happened. Real quickly, want to thank our spotter, Ron Glazer, and our statsman, Joe Hahn, for helping us here in the booth. Right now, 4th and 1 for the Pioneers. They're going to go for it. Give it to the big man, Hall, and he breaks through a couple of tackles. He's got the 1st down and more. He's inside the 35.
This guy just does not want to go down. These King players better take heed to that, because they're going to see a lot of him this second half, as if they don't realize that already.
Here's the instant replay. Look at him. Both through the line. Spinning, turning.
Boy, a guy that big, you think they'd have him in a down lineman position, possibly a guard, possibly a tackle, but John Schmitz likes him in the backfield.
Now there you see the Juno sideline and John Schmitz. He's got a drive going here. 1st and 10, 3:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Game still tied at 6. The handoff inside to Hall once again. This time brought down. Marcus Reed in on the play, along with number 85. That is Matt Mathiasen. That time they went to the old one guy up, one guy down, try to bulldog him down, and it worked.
Yeah, if you see that, Marcus Reed made a heck of a play there. He got down low and says, I think I'm going to get down around your ankles there, big guy, and take it from there.
Over on the sideline now for Juno, number 22 and number 67. He's both. Tom Moore. He is being checked out. There you see him. And there you see both jerseys. Second down, 6 yards to go. Moore with the option left. He'll pitch it, and it's going to be stopped short of a first down, and the pitch went to number 21, Robert Eckford, his first carry of the game.
Marcus Reed comes in with a nice stick there again at the end of this play. This guy's all over the field.
I like this Eckford kid. He has a lot of spunk out there. He's not afraid to hit anybody. He took a good shot that time. He got up right away, and he's back in. He's replacing Webb. Webb we see on the sideline trying to loosen things up. Eckford stays in the backfield. That's the young man we mentioned. He wants to become a dentist.
Right.
So if he can keep his teeth intact after hits like that. 3rd down and 6. Complete to Haflinger right in front of the cameras. And it's going to be short of a first down. That's either the 3rd or 4th time those two have connected. Bring up a 4th and about 3.
Looks like he's going to have to go for it here. It's into the wind. He's looking at a long field goal, so he's definitely got to go for it here. Big play.
Not afraid to go for it on 4th down. We've seen it quite often today. Coach John Schmitz of the Juno Pioneers, they are unbeaten. They want to keep that record unbeaten. And they've got a 4th and 3 out of the shotgun. Moore lofting one up, and incomplete. He tried for Ken Perkins. Maybe jumping. And it's an incomplete pass, so the Generals will take over on downs, and they evade another good scoring chance. Here you see the replay.
Well, he puts the ball up, and it's lofted to him, but maybe a little bit high. He looked like he jumped a little early there. Still had a shot at it and just couldn't bring her in. Big break for Rufus King.
That ball looks as big as a balloon.
It's easy for you to say.
When a fly ends up on a ceiling upside down, does it fly upside down to get there?
Good question.
Something to think about. 2:29 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Wrapped him up.
Offense, and that was number 33, Jermaine Jacobs, saying hello to number 40, Matt Munt of the Pioneers.
Munt made some good penetration there and gave Jacobs nowhere to go but down.
Here you see again. Look at Munt. Looked like number 1, Chad Mentor, missed the block that time.
And Munt finished that off too. If you notice how he drives him into the turf. The good coaches like to see that happen.
2nd down and 18. Time running down in the 3rd quarter. Braxton working out of the shotgun this time. He's got the wind at his back. He's got Mallory open, but he's going to go to the other side, and it's broken up by 32, Tony Fry, with a man over there, Chad Mentor. Nice play.
Boy, I thought Chad had the ball all the way, and Tony Fry comes out of nowhere to break that up. I think Mentor's a little surprised he came.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and long yardage for King. Jermaine Hall heading into the game for the defense of the Pioneers. There you see the fans trying to huddle together to stay warm.
Well, they've got the wind with them. Let's see if they're going to put the ball up or keep it on the ground here. 3rd and long.
Quarterback is Kareem Braxton for the King Generals. He's rolling right. He's faking. Now he throws to Mentor. This time it's complete. And he's going to try to break a tackle and get that first down. It depends where the spot is, but I believe he's short.
Well, that time Mentor was able to bring it in. It's going to be close. Let's see if he's got the first down or not. Looks like 4th down here.
A big target, 6'4", 200 pounds.
He's got some real good size. Coach pointed out to me that he's one of the leading receivers on the team, and looks to do something when he gets out of high school here.
Al, it's close enough for a measurement. It looked to us like he was just a bit short. There you see Mentor trying to get forward, and good play by the defense to keep him from crossing over.
Hey, we're seeing some good hard football out here today.
Well, he's going to be short. About the length of the football short, so it'll be 4th down. The pickup is 17 yards that time. 17 and a half, maybe. They needed 18.
You stand corrected.
Okay. Minute 17 left in the 3rd quarter. For as much action as we've seen, not much scoring.
Well, we're seeing both of the offenses able to move the ball up the field, but it's a good sign of a good, tough defense when they can keep on the end zone.
The inability to hit on the big play. This is a big play. King with the ball at their own 37-yard line, 4th and 1. They'll go for it. Kareem Braxton with the handoff, and it's going to be short. The handoff to Marcus Reed, but cutting in that time, it looked like it was number 60, Bill Colas, with a great defensive play. The penetration, and the Pioneers are going to take over with great field position. There you see it, Stan.
Well, Coach Dreblow taking a gamble here, and you can see the penetration right off the bat. Tough position to go for it on 4th down, but he felt he could get it, and, well, Juno's coming out on the good side of the ball here.
James Webb in on the play along with Brian Haflinger, and the Pioneers with great field position at the 35 of King. First down, the handoff to Jermaine Hall again. Look at him break tackles, a pickup again of about 7 yards.
And that's their workhorse. They're going to keep jamming it up the gut to this guy. He doesn't even look tired.
He's just laughing at the defense. You notice he has one of those shields over his eyes. You can kind of see on that shot there of him on the field. I would assume a guy like him, when he carries as much as he does, as many hands that get on him, probably get poked in the eye a few times.
Well, it's that new Darth Vader look that all the guys seem to be going to. I'm from the old school, but the new guys, they like to use this Darth Vader look, and for some of the guys, keep the fingers out of the eyes. Well, if it works, it works.
But when we played, they had leather helmets. Remember that. Second down, 3 yards to go. The handoff is going to be short of a first down. This time, the handoff was to number 20, Kent Perkins. So that is it for the third quarter. No scoring in this quarter, and we're still even. Rufus King 6, the Juneau Pioneers 6. 12 minutes left to go, and we'll be back after this on Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. Here you see the Juneau Pioneer cheerleaders trying to get their team going. They have the ball in King territory as we begin the fourth quarter. 6-6 is our score, 12 minutes left. And the Pioneers with the wind at their back in the final quarter. And it's third down, short yardage. The handoff to Hall, and he stopped originally, but he'll pick up a yard or two. He'll be short of the first down. Actually, I believe it was second down and 3 yards.
Yeah, Marcus Reed comes up with a big hit there to slow the big guy down.
Well, it was third down, so it'll bring up fourth down. Had a little confusion with the scoreboard. Fourth down and about 2. When you've got a guy like Hall, usually you can pick up that yardage, but they didn't on third down. So it's a big
yeah, you got a guy like Hall on offense and a guy like Reed on defense, really making some good penetration there. Here's his formation I thought I'd see. You got line split wide left and wide right. You won't see this in the NFL.
An unusual one, to say the least. That's Moore back to pass, and it's a screen to Hall. He's got some blocking. He's going to be close to a first down. He does have it, I believe. That is a strange play.
Oh, did you see Marcus Reed come up and put a hit on him? Hall's down, too.
Oh, Jermaine Hall. The big fullback, he had 86 yards in the game on 14 carries through 3 quarters. He had 51 yards alone in the third quarter, but here's the play where he was injured.
But look at this now. He takes the ball and eludes one tackler. Watch Marcus Reed come in there. Puts a hit on him. It's a helmet right in the belly. That's a tough hit to take.
Marcus Reed is a hitter. It's like cutting down a tree.
We need a guy like that in the Marine Corps, huh?
Oh, the big horse.
Giving away
Mark
about
Johnson here to do his Keith Jackson.
Yeah, giving away about 60, 70 pounds there, and he's not. Well, good to see him get up. The big guy's up.
And he's going to jog off the field. That's good news for Pioneers fans. That one's going to hurt. A little Charlie horse later on in the day, and he should be tired by now. He's had a big day. 15 carries now for 86 yards. Also the big pass reception right there, and that picked up the first down. So the Pioneers have it at their own, at the King 21. And here's the pass, and it's almost intercepted by Chad Mentor. He would have gone all the way right in the palms. A great defensive play, but it could have been 6.
Chad Mentor, one of the big receivers on offense, and they bring him in from that defensive end position, and another little bit of stick him on his hands. He'd have been going all the way with a touchdown there.
There's Jermaine catching a breather. He's going to get back into the game, so that's good news. That formation I haven't seen in a long time on that screen pass. It worked. It had the King defense confused a bit.
Coach told me that he was going to pull all straws today and see what he could do, and that was one of his keys right there, was that new formation. Confuse the defense a little bit, get them thinking, and take it from there.
2nd down and 10 incomplete, and that's Chad Mentor. 2nd straight plays. Knocked down a pass. This time he almost picked it off again. So to bring up 3rd and 10, the receiver was Haflinger that time. Here's a replay.
Yeah, Mentor showing why he's one of the keys on this team, for this Rufus King team. He comes out of nowhere to get that ball. Tall kid. He must be about 6'3", 6'4".
Generals read the scouting report. That time 3 men around Haflinger. So even if he would have caught it, he would have been brought down right away. And it would not have been a 1st down, I don't believe. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 now for the Pioneers. The ball is spotted at the 24-yard line of Rufus King.
Big play coming up here.
You see the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10. Both sides digging in out of the shotgun. That's quarterback Alex Moore. And before they can get it off, there's a penalty.
Looks like we got to delay a game here.
Hey, John Schmitz not happy about that. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 15. And it's going to bring the ball back to the 29-yard line. Real quickly, we'd like to thank one of our major sponsors of Channel 12's High School Game of the Week. That's Warehouse Shoes, for helping to make this possible. And don't forget, coming up after this game in approximately 15 minutes or so, it's number 1 Notre Dame against Michigan State. Remember the game back in, what was it, 1966? Tied at 10-10. Notre Dame ended up winning the national championship. What that has to do with this game, I don't know, but it's 3rd down and 15. Alex Moore, and it's complete to Haflinger. It'll be short of a 1st down, but it'll bring up 4th and short yardage.
Oh, yeah, Alex Moore showed some poise to stand in there in the heat of the rush coming in. Chad Mentor coming in real strong. And also number 33 there, Jacobs, coming right up the middle. He stood in there and threw a strike.
We'll see if we can dig up a Wisconsin Badger score before long. They were trailing 7-0 in the 1st period to the Temple Owls. 4th down and 5. This is a big play for the Pioneers. In scoring position, Haflinger in motion. High. Moore. Got a man open, and it's to Webb. He's tackler. Inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown. Juno Pioneers.
J.J. Webb. James J.J. Webb on the reception. Touchdown.
That is a 24-yard touchdown play, I do believe. 15 yards. All right, 15-yard touchdown from the quarterback, number Alex Moore.
Here's a guy, James J.J. Webb, 2nd team all-conference linebacker last year, showing he can do it on both sides of the ball. Here going for 2 points.
And it's report 2 to number 40, Matt Munt, the tight end. So the Pioneers take a 14-6 lead with 10:37 left to go. The fan for the Pioneer Nuts. They are undefeated, and they've got a chance to stay that way. Here's the touchdown play.
Boy, you see a high snap there coming back to Alex Moore. He throws a strike over there. The rest is up to J.J. Webb. Guy misses a tackle, he shakes him. Now he's going to use his running skills here.
Now we saw Webb earlier was injured, and evidently he's come back just fine. Scoring on the 19-yard touchdown.
Juno looking to beat Rufus King, 1st time ever under their coach John Schmitz, and they've got an undefeated season, looking to stay undefeated. Though Rufus King has got a lot of weapons on offense, so they come back and hurt you in a hurry. This game's got 10 and a half minutes left to go, so it's a long way from over.
Very true, Stan, very true. The quarterback like Kareem Braxton. The kid can run, the kid can throw. He'll get his chance here. The kickoff. Down to number 42, Demetrius Brown. He takes it up the sideline, out of bounds, near the 32-yard line. Near the 32-yard line. And going to get a chance to look at the sidelines, I believe. Number 42, Jermaine Hall, in pain. The Pioneers, it looks like he has a cramp. There you see him. Yeah, it looks like he does have a cramp.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe suffering a little bit from that hit that Reed put on him. He might have a little Charlie horse there, trying to lose out. He's their workhorse. They need that guy back there.
On a day like this, when it's cold, you tighten up in a hurry. And Pioneers really need him in the attack. Here's Braxton on 1st down, back to pass, gets away from the tackler, but he's intercepted by Webb, the man who just scored the touchdown. Inside the 30, cuts back against the grain. Down to the 24-yard line, a penalty flag down. But J.J. Webb coming up with back-to-back big plays for the Pioneers.
Well, you gotta like seeing that out of a guy like J.J. Webb come in and make some things happen, and did it on the offensive side of the ball. Now he's going to turn around and do it on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, that penalty flag came down right near the tackle, and it is a face mask against King, adding injury to injury, I guess. Here's the play again.
Yes, here we go. He did a fine job just to elude that tackler there, but he throws the ball right into J.J.'s Webb's hands here. J.J.'s a little shorter guy. Maybe they didn't see him standing there, but he brings the ball up and makes the big things happen. Adding another 15 yards for a face mask at the end of this play.
And you know what? The face mask wasn't even on the ball carrier. It was on number 32 blocking, Tony Fry, and he got tangled up with one of the defenders, or the offensive players, actually. First down and 10. Great field position for the Pioneers. Ball's at the 12. Hand up inside, Jermaine Hall. Big hole. And he's brought down inside the 5. So evidently he's okay. He's back in the game. Back bowling his way towards the end zone.
Yeah, he looked like he might have been protecting that leg that he just injured there a little bit. As you saw right at the end of that play, he got probably as low as he's gotten all day and put the lick on the defender before taking the lick.
So the interception by Webb could end up being the key play to this ball game. Second down and 3 for the Pioneers. 9:30 left in the game. The handoff to Hall inside. There's a penalty flag down. I think it was motion against the Pioneers.
Well, the Rufus King guys are pointing against Juno, so we'll have to wait and see what the referee says here. Illegal procedure.
Did I hear a band? Did you hear that band?
I sure did.
Was that the Juno band? We're not sure. We didn't see a band at halftime. Well, there you go. That's over on the King side of the field. They're up in the euchre seats.
Trying to get that Rufus King team going there. They're blowing away.
Well, second down, 8 yards to go for the Pioneers after the penalty. It was a motion call. Trying to eat up the clock. Hall in the backfield along with Perkins. The handoff, to Hall, and this time he's stopped up. Finally brought down. In on the play, it looks like number 44, Larry Ferris, met him head on.
Yeah, number 53, Peter Hickling, was in on that tackle also.
And Hall is limping back to the huddle, as you see right there. Definitely that thigh injury tightening up on him.
Yeah, he's been carrying the ball quite a bit. He's been the workhorse all day for him, so starting to take its toll late in the game here.
Third down, 8 yards to go. Coach Jim Dreblow's defense to hold on for the King Generals. They have to come up with a big play against Juno. Alex Moore dropping back to pass, and he is intercepted by Marcus Reed, number 24, and he's finally brought down at his own 24-yard line. That was a strange play because it looked like Jermaine Jacobs had his hands all over Alex Moore, and then Moore got away but threw it right into the arms of Marcus Reed.
Yeah, Marcus Reed played his position well here. I was keying on him. He just drops back and he's right in the zone, right in the way of the receiver there. Fine job. Another guy that looks like he doesn't want to go down. Look at him hurdling guys here.
Third turnover of the game by the Pioneers. That was an excellent scoring chance. They still lead 14-6, but now it's the Generals on the attack. Braxton pulls it down, and he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. In on the tackle, big number 63, Matt Willers. All 300 pounds of him on the tackle.
Well, Kareem Braxton's going to have to start making some things happen. The clock is beginning to become a factor in this game.
Second down and 12 yards to go, so a loss of 2 that time on the sack. Jacobs heads out of the lineup. In is number 41, Jason Robinson. 4 receivers split out for the Generals. Braxton back to throw, down the sideline, and it's out of bounds. Incomplete over the head of 82, Chad Wolf. Not a bad idea, though. It was well covered.
Yeah, when it comes down to that, what they're trying to do there on the offensive side of the ball is they're using 4 receivers, 2 split right, 2 split left, and they're trying to flood the zone, run 1 player short and 1 player deep on out routes, and try to pick the guy who's open. In that case, it's probably a good thing he threw it out of bounds.
I don't know if it's in the King playbook, but this might be a good time for a shovel pass because the Pioneers defense playing back for the pass on 3rd and 12. we've seen passing is not easy into this win. Braxton has to face that third down, and he's by Webb. He gets the pass off, and it's incomplete to Ferris, but he's lucky he got that pass away. Webb nearly making his third big play in just a matter of minutes.
Boy, this J.J. Webb coming to have a fourth quarter here for Juno and trying to keep them undefeated. He looks like he wants it badly.
That'll force a punt. At least a punt formation by the Generals, number 53, Peter Hickling. And his punt average isn't too good today. He hasn't had a chance to punt with the win once.
Yeah, tough into the win today again.
Back to receive. Big number 42, Jermaine Hall, and it's blocked. And so another turnover. It's not really a turnover, but a big play by the Pioneers. Tim Dorfner with the block.
Yeah, Tim Dorfner coming in untouched from the top of the screen here. Comes in, lays out, and gets his hand on the ball. Big play for Juno.
Al, 7-10, and the clock is running. Left to go. Don't forget, coming up immediately after this game at CFA College Football, Michigan State against the number 1 ranked Fighting Irish from Notre Dame. And we should be going to it right about time for the kickoff. Less than 7 minutes to go. First down and 10. The handoff up the middle to Hall. No, that time it was a handoff to Haflinger.
They brought Haflinger in the backfield there and gave him the ball on that quick pop.
The way the line was moving, I thought maybe that was Hall. Haven't seen anybody else move a line like that this year. Haflinger picks up maybe 2 on the play. But more importantly for Juno, the clock keeps running. 6:20 left to go. Alex Moore, the quarterback, Haflinger, the up man in the I formation. Hall is the deep man. A handoff to the first man through again, Haflinger, and he picks up a couple of yards. He'll bring up 3rd and long.
Rufus King has got to make something happen on defense here if they're going to have a chance to get back in this game. Down 8 points. Clock is at 6 minutes right now.
Now the Badgers making a mini comeback at halftime, trailing Temple 7-3. I don't know if the fans at Camp Randall are real happy about that. The weather, though, may be a concern in Madison today.
Well, let's hope they got a good crowd up there. I'd like to see what Barry Alvarez is doing up there, and I think he's got the program pointed in a good direction.
I agree with you. 3rd down and 5, and man jumped. Looks like it was one of the Pioneers from Juno. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. There's our referee, Chuck Hintz. That was an offensive false start. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. You just joined us. Juno leading Rufus King 14-6. 5.5 minutes left to go in the game. King scored first on a 17-yard pass from Kareem Braxton, Damian Mallory in the first quarter. The Pioneers tied it at halftime on a 33-yard pass from Alex Moore to Brian Haflinger, and then they took the lead in the 4th quarter on a 19-yard touchdown pass from Moore to James Webb. Here they go. 3rd and 10, the pitch back to Haflinger. He'll be stopped well short of the first down.
Haflinger didn't like that at all, but he had 7 guys on him, and there was no place for him to go on that play.
Matt
Bring up
Matheson
a 4th down.
In on the tackle, along with about 4 or 5 friends. 4th and 10.
Boy, watching this kind of hard-nosed football makes me glad to say I got out of the game and presently now work for a company called Cryovac in sales.
All right, there you go. In the Milwaukee area, we've got a Juno next week. Coming up on the game of the week, it's Marquette at Milwaukee Lutheran in the Metro Conference, a conference I'm quite familiar with. And interesting, Stan and I never played against each other, but we played in the same time zone. When was that, about 30 years ago?
At least, huh?
10 years ago, back in the early 80s. Well, next, it's Notre Dame against Michigan State. We've been talking about it. Rich Myrer, the new quarterback for Notre Dame, taking over for Tony Rice. And did he have a game against Michigan last week, leading a comeback? And it's a killer schedule for the Fighting Irish. This is, well, John Schmitz, not going to be the warmest guy around. He just got a little Gatorade bath.
Never beaten Rufus King, and first time's always a sweet one.
Quite a turnaround for this Juno program. Back to punt is Haflinger. He gets it off, and that's it for the game. Marcus Eads going to let it bounce. And it'll be down at about the 15. National game. The Jewett Pioneers come up with the win, 20-6 over Rufus King, as they remain undefeated on the season. ABC's College Football is next. Channel 12 High School Game of the Week is a presentation